Good afternoon, everyone. I am Tiara Ritney, and I am back with Joy in the Journey podcast. So today I have another one of my favorite people with me today. I have DJ, well, he's known as DJ Polaris in the city. One of the best DJs in the city. Are you a husband?
Yes.
Husband, father. Like I said, the hottest DJ in Fort Wayne. He's always behind the scenes, but believe me, when you get to know him in person, he has so much knowledge and just so much encouragement, and he encourages me every time I talk to him. Welcome to the podcast, DJ Polaris.
Thank you. Thanks for
Let the listeners know a little bit more about you.
Well, the basics is what you said. I'm DJ. Also produce and do mixing and mastering audio. That's, of course, I'm one half of Music Lovers Lounge for those that don't know.
Yeah.
And just kind of a regular guy.
No. Look, we think you're a regular guy, but look. So, how, outside of being a DJ, so I've known you for about, have it been about 7 years since I started doing since I've been doing the luncheon. That's how we met. Met you through Nasteem and was looking for a DJ for my luncheon, and you was the first person that she had me connect with. And when I tell you, you bring it every single time to the luncheons. You give everybody what they want. You always connect with the host, with the crowd. You're just a phenomenal DJ.
Thank you.
So before, I guess you knew, before people knowing you as DJ Polaris, how did you get into becoming a DJ? Where did that start?
Yeah, I worked for a man who owned a candy store shop, back it was right on Pontiac Street, and he owned it was like a pool hall kind of thing. And so the early part of the day, he asked me to just open up the doors, put a speaker outside, and play music.
Okay.
And so, this is days of records, of course.
How old were you then?
Oh man, I think I was maybe 9, because I just started Metro.
Okay.
I'll never forget that. That's
what team were you on in Metro?
Well, it used to be the Redskins. I don't think they have the Redskins anymore.
Okay. I was a cheerleader for the Rams.
Well, it's time to go. But doing that, and I started to notice the records that I selected, and that comes from your mom, your grandmother, everybody that's into music. So I was selecting records that would work. So, it was just that kind of sparked the love of hey, because I seen the reaction, people could be having a bad day, funerals, all types of stuff that happens. And you're able to, at least for a moment, change their attitude with music and make them feel happy. So there's, this is back in the day where it was still a lot of foot traffic along Pontiac Street, people coming home from work, getting off the bus, school, So it was really, really nice to see that. So that kind of sparked it from there, and then I just kept, kept dibbling and dabbling. And then once I got to high school, I would say I kind of trying to do it more serious, trying to, invest, my little grass cutting money, and, I worked at McDonald's, just like everybody else, and just turn that money into buying equipment or, things like that. So
okay, good.
Yeah, so that was the basic seed of it. Yeah.
So you was 9 years old when you started. So what was your room like? Was it records everywhere?
Well, our first house was more like a family house. So I had cousins, anybody that, family is family. So, and I was, being the oldest child, I was the only child in the house at that particular time. So
Are you far from your, in age from your siblings?
No, there's, after about 5 years and they, everybody started coming along, but I remember, actually 4. but I remember being in my aunt's basement. So my cousins obviously were older. They were like teenagers at the time. So, you know, you're just trying to hang out with them. And they always do like small, like get together parties, dance parties. You know, like what we see now of like line dancing, you know, everybody get together. Girl, let me show you this new dance. They were doing that back then.
Yeah.
And so I would just observe, you know, sit on the stairs and just watch and see everything. So there was records everywhere. There was, you know, speakers. And so I was already kind of being groomed for it. And so that's what really, you know, where it really, again, kind of seeded from. So, but that is probably the main start of it all. Okay. And then everything just kind of branched out from there. So.
Okay. So you start bringing out the speaker and all that at 9 years old. Then you kind of start taking it serious in high school.
Yeah, I think high school I got serious. A friend of mine, Pup Love, everybody probably knows who Mike Johnson is.
Dreads.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
I know who you said because he actually DJ'd for my wedding.
Okay.
For my reception. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yep. Well, then you have the best right there. So, all of those, myself, Pup, we had a couple like his Uncle Larry, which is over at the Legion now. Everybody knows Uncle Larry. So we kind of put it all together, and I believe the main DJs were Tricky Trey Cato and Money Mike. Now we're all the same age, but they were way ahead of me, like advanced, they're great guys. And so that's where we started, you know, doing that. So I was always like the first DJ, you know, the opener or whatever, you know, you got to pay your dues. And so, yeah, you start seeing like, wow, you know, we got 200-300 kids in here and the whole city, you know, different high schools, you know, that was kind of the thing. So, yeah, that's where it started. And, you know, it gave me the idea for, you know, what I would do. And then once I went to college and it just kind of snowballed from there. So
okay, that's what I was gonna ask too. Like, what when you took it serious in high school, did you stay doing it even through college? Or
I played ball, so my academics and basketball was first. You know, academics first, then basketball, and then DJing. But the good part about it was, you know, everybody, you know, when you're in college, you know, you party and all the time, you discovering new clubs and all that kind of stuff. So I started working at a club. I was actually in Flint, Michigan, and there was a club called the Copa, and that was like my first like real like test to be in front of number one, a Detroit and Flint crowd. So I didn't know anybody and what music they listened to, and if you've ever been to Detroit, it's different. You know, they got some different music up there. A lot of techno, a lot of house, a lot of, you know, it's just different. So
what was the feel like when you knew like I'm about to be performing in front of all these people?
Yeah.
Was it pressure?
Yeah, and it was a contest. So the night my basketball team mates went with me, and so I had a little support. And so it was like everybody had like 30 minutes, and it was like 4 DJs, 4 or 5 of us. So my 30 minutes, you know, you have to like rock, so people are just kind of staring at you. And these are the days where the DJ wasn't as close. You know, you used to be up in a booth or something. So it helps a little bit because you're not, you know how it is now.
Yeah,
they're like right
people
there.
can just come up to you and touch you
all the time.
Yeah.
Ask for songs or stick their phone in your face. Play this. You know, so. Yeah, so
did you like it? I know you liked it better when you were just
I did. I mean, and to even clear that up, to, you know, I wouldn't want anyone to think that I'm antisocial.
No. Yeah.
But it makes you concentrate on the music. You know, now it's a lot of theatrics, you know, and I'm sure you've seen DJs and they pumping the fists, or, you know, they got a mask on, or, you know, and that's fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but my concentration was I got to play the right records and do the right thing. You know, like when you talk about your event, you know, when we do Smiling Tears and things like that, like that's what I'm thinking about. Everybody in the room, not, I think this is a hot record or this. I'm like, no, we have people in there from all walks of life. You have all ages. You have all races. So I'm like, okay, I have to try to, you know, touch all of those. And it's not always like perfectly done, but that's what the goal was. So.
I think you get it perfectly done, and
you.
because I feel like you're such an observer, like like even if you don't know someone personally, I think because nothing wrong with it. Shout out to mom, nothing wrong with it.
But yeah, that's when I started to see that, that I was having an impact. It was never about money or anything, because I guess in everything that we do, whether it's a doctor, lawyer, a plumber, you want to see that you can do it at a high level before you start to, say, I can turn this into a business. So when that happened in Flint, and then I went to DC, and then that's when it really took off then.
So what happened when you got to DC?
Well, because I went to Howard, the community was a lot bigger, and I kind of got out of playing ball. I really wanted to concentrate on my grades. I was really a nerd, kind of like the cool nerd.
That makes sense.
I didn't let anybody know, intelligence at that time was kind of like amongst the kids were kind of frowned upon. You had to be tough and, my whole neighborhood thing, but I always still kept that part. So when I went to DC, going to Howard and having such a larger demographic of people, and even just within the black community, but you had people from Nigeria, you had people from, all parts of Africa. I met people. One of my best friends, Michelle, she was from London. I never even knew black in my, at that time I didn't know it was black people in London. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. And like I said earlier off camera, I met people from Montana, and these are all black people. And it just gave me okay, the world is bigger than Fort Wayne. The world is bigger than Indiana. So that led me to other musics. So I was able to meet, I had a DJ friend of mine, DJ Gaff. He was from Jamaica, and he taught me how to DJ reggae style, not no other, because all DJs are a little bit different depending on, where you go. So I spent a lot of time. So it was like an intern. I met a female DJ, and that's just kind of what she classified herself at that time, DJ Catastrophe, and she was from Detroit. Yeah. And so her dorm room was like catty corner for mine, and I just every day just bugged her to death. Like, come on, let me, I just wanted to be around all of this culture. So that's why it kind of, hopefully that comes across as I DJ now, that again, hitting all these different, marks and stuff. So
is this somebody like a DJ that you always like kind of looked up to or admired? Or
definitely Charlie D, and he's from here.
Okay. Do I work with, is he at General Motors?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, okay.
Listen, and I've been around a lot of DJs, Kid Capri, Jazzy Jeff. I mean, these are world-renowned DJs. I've been, in a lot of circles and seen a lot of stuff. And to this day, there's nobody, to me, as good as he is.
Wow.
And he doesn't, I don't think he DJs as much anymore.
As he used to.
But
I want to say...
Yeah, I
want to say he had DJ'd at a party I was at maybe some year. It was, this had to be.
He'll pop out.
Yeah.
Like the thing that Charlie did for me.
Who was your...
you
started talking about Charlie. Yeah. That's what we was talking about, Charlie.
Okay, well, to go back over that briefly is, again, his family owned a club called Club Z.
Okay.
And I was like 14, so obviously I wasn't going to the club. But I wanted to DJ so bad. And at that time, I think I had like maybe 3-4 records. That was it.
Yeah.
So I would just stand outside all night. I was probably going to get in trouble because my parents was, I'd say I'm with my cousins or just say something.
Yeah.
Because, the club didn't close at like 2 a.m. And he'd give me like the last like 10 minutes. Like there's nobody there.
Oh, yeah,
there's nobody there. It's like two drunk people.
Right.
A drunk couple trying to make it home.
Right.
But, I appreciated it from the standpoint that, I tried to make that 10 minutes, the most awesome thing. So him just giving me that shot was, and that's, a big part of him, that he has a huge heart. He being as good as he is, he could be super arrogant, and he's not. So that taught me a lot to not be arrogant.
And you definitely not. You definitely carry it well.
He is the best. Like for real. Like I'm not saying that. And like I said, I've been around what some may consider the greatest, Cash Money and just a lot of guys. And Charlie's the guy. So,
I love it. Yeah. So do you find yourself like just remembering like times like that with him? Do you find yourself being like that with other like younger generations that
Yeah, I didn't know. I guess at times I don't really know who knows me. I don't know. My focus is so much on the actual work, and I always tell people, they're like, how's it going? And I'm always nervous. And they're like, why are you nervous? You've been doing this for so long. And I'm like, when you're of service, because that's what I consider this, of service, I don't take it for granted that I had a good party or people had a good time at this party. Every group of people is different. Every day is different. Attitudes are different. We've all been in places where just like the energy just isn't right. So a DJ's job is to kind of change the energy or find,
So what is that like? So you go into a place where the energy is off. What do that look like to you when the energy is off?
And it's not just about people sitting down. I think a lot of DJs and a lot of people at the parties like, girl, everybody just sitting down. Ain't nobody dancing. Sometimes it's not the song selection. You got to read the world. Like you got to know, like right now, we all know that there's everything from politics to turmoil in the city. If there was just an unfortunate like murder or something that really impacts the community, you have to understand that. So when you may go to this party or this function, people may not be as jovial and want to be as dancing. They may just want to sit and just kind of, so you have to maybe find the music that fits that. So it may not be we're gonna Megan Thee Stallion and the Deaf tonight. It may be something else because of what works for that party. So you have to be very, you have to like profile. And I know it sounds bad for the word because, you have to look at people's age. You have to look at people's race. You have to look at people's, and you could be wrong. And we're wrong a lot, because you can walk in a room full of young people. Like we just did, myself and my partner, we just did Bishop Lewis. And, in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't have any teenagers at home anymore, but I'm thinking, NBA young boy, this, that. I'm like, they're totally listening to stuff like us.
I'm telling you, like my daughter had she had what did she have? A TLC party.
Oh, nice.
Like and so the DJ Aaron came. He did good.
Dope DJ.
He did good. He interacts with the crowd, all that.
Yes.
And so that's why I was like, okay, he'll be perfect for this crowd. And so when he came, he's playing like NBA.
Yeah, all that.
And he playing all that, and my daughter like, what is this? Like, you know what I mean? And so he thought because she was it was 16 crowd that's what they were. But then he started playing Surrender. What is it? Is it I'll Make You Surrender? I
should know.
Who is it? I'm probably saying the wrong title, but it's with the one old girl group. They did a song with
Not Total. But it's from that era, maybe.
It was they did a song with Keith Sweat before. I Make You Surrender. I Make You
not
Surrender.
Brownstone.
To my loving baby. You know what song? But anyway, it was in the 90s. Yeah, and so when he played that, she went ham. Like and he was like, I didn't know they listened. I'm like, they are literally into
connected.
The 90s.
Yeah, and what's really crazy is the video games have helped. If you play, my boys play video games and stuff, and at your earshot away, and you're like, wait, is that Run DMC? Like, what? And they're playing these different styles of music on these games. So they're picking it up from the NBA Live or the NBA 2K or whatever. So So now, we go into these parties with a different mindset because you're like, okay, you got to be ready for anything. So everything you think that you'll walk into, it may be different too. And there's certain energies, in these records that, that was their energy. That's where we got it from. It just changes. So when you can look at that and, see all those different, you just have to, and sometimes it takes a minute, Sometimes you like just prodding and kind of poking around, and then all of a sudden it's something that just sparks it, and then you just go from there. So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's usually it.
Yeah. I love that. So was there ever a time or a moment in your life where you feel like, I think I want to do something else. I don't think I want to do this no more.
Yeah. I think everybody goes through that. And we all know, when you're dealing with nightlife, you're dealing with a lot of violence at times because you're dealing with drinking and people that can't handle drinking. You're dealing with just groups of people that are just popping up. So, it was times that I'm like, I don't ever want to be in danger or feel like I'm in danger, but I know that's a part of nightlife. But you find ways, or I found ways to get around it by doing my due diligence in the business side by saying, okay, we have to change how we move and how we do things. Some of the venues that I've worked with over the years, even some of the major ones, and no knock to them, but they'll tell you, we've guided them to a point where they've changed their security practices because of us. Because some people will go into a situation like, well, I'll have less security until something happens. Our thing is the opposite.
Yeah,
it's like, let's overdo it.
Yeah.
And then if nothing happens, or, we can always go down. So, but yeah, definitely thought about it, just because of that. And, we talked off camera a little bit about, when I started to travel, there's not a lot of money.
Yeah. I was shocked about that.
Yeah, like I said, I know if you're a visual, you want the social media look and you want to be in the club and it has all the lights and take the pictures, and if you want that, you can get it, but it don't pay.
Yeah. A
lot of the DJs, my own friends, and I love them to death, but they're starving because they're going for that versus the money.
The money.
Me, it's a business. So yeah, I'm going to do my job and I like what I do. All that is still present, but it is a business, and I work for a person. When I work for you, I work for you. I'm work for hire. So when I'm working for you, I have to do what you need me to do. It's not about me. It's not about what I think is a good record, that you like, this is what I want. This is the vibe that I want. My job is to curate that. So,
and you do well.
Yeah. So that's my job.
You do well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, have you ever, I guess, in this journey, like you do the nightlife, you DJ, outside of that, like just being, I guess, more in the world, being more in the world, how do you kind of balance that out, just being in the world, and then what does time for you look like, I guess?
Yeah, for years I was really bad at it. Making time for myself. Again, when we talked off camera, my mom, my dad, I had, even, my children would be like, like, you don't have any hobbies, like, people go fishing, or, like some people shop, all these different things. And, since that world is so demanding, it's such a populated with people and interacting and shaking hands and just doing all of that, my, I guess, decompressed time, I just, I like to bake. So,
that's good. What do you be baking?
I'm not a baker like that. I just, it's a separation of it. It's kind of.
Is it like therapeutic?
Yes, yeah. It's kind of the same. I'm a puzzle guy. Business is a puzzle. if you think about anyone that's in business or done any type of business, even when you do your events, it's a puzzle. Okay, what do I need to do? When do I need to do it? What needs to go over here? When does it need to go here? So on and so forth. So I go through that. So baking is kind of that, because it's an exact science to a degree, but there's just all the little things I picked up from my grandmother, my aunts and stuff, just sitting there, as a child, how they sit you at the table, like while they cook or something. And I picked up all that stuff. So it gives me a release that's different than music,
Right.
It's just completely different, but some of the characteristics are the same. So I love to bake. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That is good. Yeah. I love that. That's different. I never heard of that. Like, I never heard of, like, baking is like what I enjoy doing in my time by myself when I'm spending time.
Because it's a puzzle.
Yeah.
I just as crazy as nerdy as this may sound, but getting your yeast right could totally change. Like it's just the puzzle of it.
Yeah.
Can I get it right? I'm not very decorative. I'm not a when we hire decorators for our parties, they're always like, okay, what theme do you want? We're like, you work it out.
I'm not either.
Yeah, I am not.
I have somebody help me decorate my house, everything.
I'm not.
I cannot visualize that. Like what that look like. So
I'm a very minimalist. I'm very, I guess some will say in that world, very Japanese. Just clean lines, simple stuff. So again, when you're doing again, figuring out the puzzle or whatever, that's the enjoyable part for me. And that goes in with cooking as well. Yeah, I mean, shopping is easy now.
Yeah,
we can get on our phone.
Online.
Yeah,
that's
all I shop.
I literally like being. I would rather be online than be in a store with other people. We all stepping over each other's feet and waiting on somebody to get done looking at this. So I'm just like, I would rather be online shopping.
Yeah, I mean, occasionally it's cool if you're in like a larger market. Like when I go to LA, it's cool because everything's kind of different. I don't know any other stores. So you can walk into, like, a lot of us have, well, some of us have, but like if you walk into the real Gucci store or the real, you see the difference. You're like, okay, this is a different type of shopping here. This is like really different. So it's cool to just go and experience those things. But again, going to even small towns around here, there's some really cool stuff in these small towns. And I've been to quite a few around. I just pick up and go. Like literally, like just the same as I came to see you, I'll just say, you know what? I'm going to Albion today.
Right.
And I just drive around. And I was like, I didn't know they had this type of store. Or, there's a bomb soda shop, natural soda shop in Huntington.
Wow.
They got like 30 it's insane. It's like a old school with the ice cream, with the glass, with the cherry, the whole, they got all of that. And it's just cool to go see something else. It's not, it kind of just, for me, it's a release, it gets you out of your same box. But
so what do you do when you go to these kind of places? Because I know you're not big on like posting and doing all that. So like when you get these like new experiences, do you like take pictures and just save them in your phone? Or
it's probably more of that. Yeah. It's probably more just like, and I'm trying to get more, anybody that really knows me and had conversations with me, I'm actually, my mom used to always tell me I talk too much,
Really? And it's so crazy.
Yeah, I was always, because, I told you I was always into the scholastic part. I was always on a roll. I was always that. So, you kind of have to be more open. But no, like when I see that stuff, it's just, I try to live in the moment. We can always take pictures and stuff like that. And, but yeah, I enjoy that. Even the thing that, we talked about, the whole going up north and, we were going to do that. Like,
We definitely gotta do that.
We gotta get Nas on board.
No, the other day I was on the phone with her, and you had text, and I was like, "Oh, I bet you," and she was just like, "Get that together, and I'm gonna call you back." So I was like, "Okay,
we'll get it together."
Yeah, we got it. We definitely got to get it. We could have been doing that while we've been off work.
Yep, we sure could have. But it's such an experience for me.
Yeah,
and I like to share those. But then, you don't want to spoil it either, because then if like I said, I mentioned the whole Gatlinburg thing, because it's like, okay, we all been now.
Yeah,
everybody been, and
right.
it kind of takes, sometimes it can take away from the experience, So like, even when I go to Chicago, my whole mentality is not to just go, hit the Magnificent Mile, go to the Jordan store, all these different things. I love the neighborhoods and the small shops, the mom and pop, because the way I look at us as, all the business people that we know, we're the mom and pops. So they could use our support, and maybe the $15-18 you may spend in there doesn't seem like that'll pay their rent. But you never know what that experience may mean to that person. Anybody that's been in business and starting a business, we on shoestrings. I mean, we are literally, balancing the budget daily. So, so if I can do that, even though it's just a little bit, I'll do it. There's a donut shop thing that she's in a trailer. And she moves her trailer around. So I drove all.
How did you find out about this?
As I'm saying, it's easy to go through the mainstreams of, like I said, everybody, Vegas, you know all how Houston is hot right now, and and again, I seen it and I said, I'm gonna just drive up there, and it was like an hour away. So I just drove, and I like to drive, actually. It's strange, but
I do too. I do. I like scenery.
Yeah.
I like scenery. Right. I like vibing out to music. While I'm driving, I like just getting in my own zone.
Yep. I think it's good therapy, and when you do that, that's when you discover, you're like, what is this? And you just go. I just think the world is too big. And I don't even want to say the world. I think most of us don't even know what's in our own state. And, sometimes we get caught up like, this is Mayberry, it's small town, it's this, it's that. There's so many things here, even in town, to do. But again, it doesn't have the glitz and the glamour of, I went to Vegas, but who ain't been to Vegas right now at this point? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Vegas. I haven't been there. That's funny.
You haven't?
Nah.
Oh,
I'm supposed to be going this. When I go to LA, I may shoot over there.
Yeah, it's cool.
Just to see it.
It's cool. I want to move there. Like my sister, she went there for her 25th birthday.
Oh, nice.
Or was it her? No, she went there for her 21st birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And about 6 months later, she moved.
Yeah.
She moved there.
and the beauty of life, to me, and beauty of people is you find where you fit in.
Yeah.
And that's the whole back to the puzzle thing. You find where you fit in, and even when I lived on the East Coast, that broadened my horizons so much, because it's just a different vibe and different people. There's a different language, and you learn. I mean, how they dress, everything was different. And I was just observing. And just like, okay, I don't want to change who I am, because I never denied where I was from.
Right.
It's like Indiana, and they would be like, "What's in Indiana?"
Right.
Nobody knew.
Get that all the time.
You heard of Gary or Indianapolis?
Yeah.
What is
what is Fort Wayne?
Yeah. Like,
I get that all the time.
Base? Yeah. Right. So, and I'm like, nah, it's just a regular city. So I had buddies that I would bring back, and they would be like, man, this isn't bad. Because again, some people don't want the hustle and bustle. I got friends that live in New York trying to get out. They hate they love all the things that New York offers, but just like I got friends, I'm sure you got friends in Chicago, and if you go to Chicago, I mean, it's nothing to pay $75 to park.
Right.
To park your car is $75. So I enjoy, the peace. And,
I get it. I get it up here. Yeah,
and you can travel.
Because I'm telling you, I had on last Christmas, I had a couple of my high school friends come back from Atlanta, and we went out to eat. We had drinks. I'm not a big shopper like that either. And to be honest, when I'm out of town, I would rather I don't know. I would rather do anything but shopping.
Yeah, I mean, shopping is easy now.
Yeah,
I mean, we could
because
get on
I
our
get
phone.
online.
Yeah,
Like I would
that's
rather,
all I shop.
like I literally like being. I would rather be online than be in a store with other people. We all stepping over each other's feet and waiting on somebody to get done looking at this. So I'm just like I would rather be online shopping.
Yeah, I mean, occasionally it's cool if you're in like a larger market. Like when I go to LA, it's cool because everything's kind of different. I don't know any other stores. So you can walk into, like, a lot of us have, well, some of us have, but like if you walk into the real Gucci store or the real, you see the difference. You know, you're like, okay, this is a different type of shopping here. You know, this is like really different. So it's cool to just go and experience those things. But again, you know, going to even small towns around here, there's some really cool stuff in these small towns. And I've been to quite a few around here. I just pick up and go. Like literally, like just the same as I came to see you, I'll just say, you know what? I'm going to Albion today.
Right.
And I just drive around, you know, and I'm like, I didn't know they had this type of store. Or, you know, there's bomb soda shop, natural soda shop in Huntington.
Wow.
They got like 30 it's insane. It's like a old school with the ice cream, you know, with the glass, with the cherry, you know, the whole they got all of that. And it's just cool to go see something else. It's not, you know, it kind of just, for me, it's a release, you know, it gets you out of your same box. But
so what do you do when you go to these kind of places? Because I know you're not big on like posting and doing all that. So like when you get these like new experiences, do you like take pictures and just save them in your phone? Or
it's probably more of that. Yeah, it's probably more just like, you know, and you know, I'm trying to get more, you know, anybody that really knows me and had conversations with me, I'm actually, I mean, hell, my mom used to always tell me I talk too much, you know.
Really? And it's so crazy.
Yeah, I was always, because, you know, I told you I was always into the scholastic part. You know, I was always honor roll. I was always that. So, you know, you kind of have to be more open. But no, like when I see that stuff, it's just, I try to live in the moment. We can always take pictures and stuff like that, and, you know, but yeah, I enjoy that. You know, even the thing that, you know, we talked about, the whole going up north, and you know, we were going to do that. Like,
we definitely got to do that.
We got to get Nas on board.
No, the other day I was on the phone with her, and you had text, and I was like, "Oh, I bet you," and she was just like, "Get that together, and I'm gonna call you back." So I was like, "Okay,
we'll get it together."
Yeah, we got it. We definitely got to get it. We could have been doing that while we've been off work.
Yeah, we sure could have. But it's such an experience for me.
Yeah,
and I like to share those. But then, you know, you don't want to spoil it either, because then if like I said, I mentioned the whole you know, Gatlinburg thing, because it's like, okay, we all been now.
Yeah.
Everybody been, and it kind of takes, sometimes it can take away from the experience, you know. So like, you know, even when I go to Chicago, my whole mentality is not to just go, you know, hit the Magnificent Mile, go to the Jordan store, you know, all these different things. I love the neighborhoods and the small shops, the mom and pop, because the way I look at us as, you know, all the business people that we know, we're the mom and pops. So they could use our support, and yeah, maybe the 15, 18 bucks you may spend in there doesn't seem like that'll pay their rent. But you never know what that experience may mean to that person. You know, anybody that's been in business and starting a business, we're on shoestrings. I mean, we are literally, you know, balancing the budget daily. So, you know, so if I can do that, even though it's just a little bit, you know, I'll do it. There's a donut shop thing that she's in a trailer. And she moves her trailer around. So I like drove all.
How did you find out about this?
As I'm saying, it's easy to go through the mainstreams of, like I said, you know, everybody, Vegas, you know, you know all the how Houston is hot right now, and you know, and again, I seen it and I said, you know, I'm gonna just drive up there, and you know, it was like an hour away. So I just drove, and I like to drive actually. It's strange, but
I do too.
yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
do. I like scenery.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
well,
like
right,
scenery.
right.
I like vibing out to music.
Yep.
While I'm driving, I like just getting in my own
Yep,
zone.
yep. I think it's good therapy, and when you
Yeah.
do that, that's when you discover you're like, what is this? And you just go. I just think the world is too big, and I don't even want to say the world. I think most of us don't even know what's in our own state, and sometimes we get caught up like this is Mayberry, it's small town, it's this, is that. There's so many things here, even in town, to do. But again, it doesn't have the glitz and the glamour of I went to Vegas. But who ain't been to Vegas right now at this point? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Vegas. I haven't been there. That's funny.
You haven't?
Nah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
supposed to be going this. When I go to LA, I may shoot over there.
Yeah, it's cool.
Just to see it.
It's cool.
Yeah,
I want to move there. Like my sister, she went there for her 25th birthday.
Oh, nice.
Or was it her? No, she went there for her 21st birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And about 6 months later, she moved.
Yeah.
She moved there.
and the beauty of life, to me, and beauty of people is you find where you fit in.
Yeah.
And that's the whole back to the puzzle thing. You find where you fit in, and even when I lived on the East Coast, that broadened my horizons so much because it's just a different vibe and different people. There's a different language, and you learn. I mean, how they dress, everything was different. And I was just observing. And just like, okay, I don't want to change who I am because I never denied where I was from.
Right.
They're like, Indiana. And they would be like, what's in Indiana?
Right.
Nobody knew.
Get that all the time.
You heard of Gary or Indianapolis?
Yeah.
And
What
Gary,
is what?
Yeah.
Or what is Fort Wayne?
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
like,
I get that all the time.
Base?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, and I'm like, nah, it's just a regular city. So
Yeah.
I had buddies that I would bring back, and they would be like, man, this isn't bad. Because again, some people don't want the hustle and bustle. I got friends that live in New York trying to get out. They hate they love all the things that New York offers, but just like I got friends, I'm sure you got friends in Chicago, and if you go to Chicago, I mean, it's nothing to pay $75 to park.
Right.
To park your car
Right.
is $75. So I enjoy, the peace and
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
Up here, yeah.
And you can travel.
Because I'm telling you, I had
And we all just trauma bond.
right.
We need to get some help.
Get some healing going on. Yeah.
So like, with what you do, you are able to, or that I've noticed from the outside looking in, people are able to let some of that baggage go, even just at the events. So you're counseling without counseling. You're just making the format like, hey, there's no judgments here, and to hear people's stories, like you just never know what people are going through. And I didn't know any of those people. Most of the time when I've heard, you had different speakers, I've never heard of these people. And I'm sitting there intensely listening like, wow, like, and it gave me a different perspective too. So so it's definitely a blessing what you do, for sure.
Thank you.
Taught me a lot. I mean, every time I go, it's more of a therapy for me just to be there. So
yeah.
yeah.
So what does support look like for you? Like when it comes to your business and personal life?
Yeah, like when it comes to that, because this business is fast, everything is quick. So I have a few select friends. Obviously, I have my children, I have my wife, but I'm gonna say that's the easy part. I don't like dumping that on my family all the time. And sometimes it just comes out because you're there.
Right.
But I have, just a few select people that I can talk to, because this business can run you down. Because there's a lot of moving parts and things like that. But that's my family is still my biggest support system.
Yeah,
so I say I'm
good.
blessed and I have a big family, but always look at it as I can, when I told you earlier, I compartmentalize things. I can talk to my sister Disha. I can talk to her about specific things. And I don't bring everything to her. And I can talk to my dad. I can talk to my mom. I can talk to my other sisters, about like certain things, because they're going to they're gonna understand it. And so, yeah, I think you just compartmentalize things, and that's what my main support system is. And other business people, I can call other business people that don't DJ. They may run a CPA firm, and I'll call them, and we'll still can talk business, because they'll say, okay, you need to do certain relationships. I talk to realtors and just different people, and just getting different perspectives. So that's really my main support system. And and just like I would imagine most of us, whatever we call it, I have to pray. I have to meditate. I have to do all of that. And my meditation, I used to think it was all about, sit with your legs crossed and light some candles. You got a rain stick and all, like all this, like superficial
But we even
stuff.
think prayer looks like that when it really don't. Like, who's like, you don't. People think, oh, I gotta be on my knees,
right? Or I gotta do this.
I gotta fold my hands. I gotta have my eyes closed. When literally you can pray throughout your entire. You should pray throughout your entire day.
And sometimes you do.
Silently. It don't have to always be out loud. Like you can literally say a prayer in your head.
Right. And that's a part of it too. Everybody's spirituality is important, and I never look at another person's spirituality as if it's. Even if it's different from the way I see it, I'm like, you have to deal. That's your relationship.
That's
with
your
God,
relationship.
Not mine.
Your journey.
That's your, and if it works for you, and you're consistent. And
I feel like if it's working for you and it's not causing you to go out and cheat, kill, steal, and destroy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And if you can make sure that you can be responsible for what you do, and that's when it all will kind of come together, I think, for anybody. So I have to do that. And sometimes just sitting still. I mean, how many people have you ever heard they say, oh man, I pull up to my house or the gym or in their garage, and they just sit there,
right?
Just in silence. I remember one time, because I homeschool my children, all of them.
Oh really? How many kids you have?
How many of them is it now?
So crazy, because literally nobody gets this part of Polaris. Nobody knows.
No, I'm very protective of my children.
It's good.
And
That's
not hiding. I never hide life, but this is my. This is my base. So you knowing what I'm doing, how I'm moving is not like I'm hiding something, but. My family is precious to me. Yeah, my sister and brothers are precious to me.
Yeah,
people know who they are, but I don't have to just share everything.
But
I got three kids. So, I got grandbabies now.
You do? I did not know that.
Yeah, I just had a brand new baby girl. She's.
This your first?
3 months? No, I got. 5? We got 5 grandbabies.
5 grandbabiys?
Yeah, wow. I did your
wedding.
Reception. So, you start seeing people that you're a part of those moments, and you're like, wow, like I've really been doing some things. Because I never try to look back. Every event that I do or thing that I'm a part of, I kind of start over. Of course, there's some things that you carry over because it was skills, but I never look at it as, well, I'm DJ Polaris, so it'll be successful.
Right.
Or it's Music Lovers Lounge, it'll be successful. I look at it the opposite, and I tell my partner this all the time. I'm like, we got to work like it was the first one.
Right.
And not as a cliche, but seriously, because you can take it for granted. And I'm sure we've all seen people in our prospective businesses that have failed because they got to a certain height. They're like, oh, I'm the best. I talk to decorators all the time, because we're doing weddings a lot. And, and no knock. And, me and Nas had this talk all the time. I said a lot of them didn't make it because they thought they were that good. They thought they were perfect. They thought they had it all. I'm the best in the city. I'm the best
Not
at this.
humble. And that's I think that's being on this journey is one of the things that I take to heart the most is just, please God, keep me humble.
Yeah.
Keep me humble, because I know as quick as you gave it to me, it could be gone like that, I
watch a lot of my friends fall, and not just in like music or anything or business, but just period, some of this younger generation, they're big on like proving they got it out the dirt. And I'm sure you may have some younger cousins, and it's like, wait a minute, you got both parents. They're both good parents.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really want for anything. We always want something, but you know what I mean. You weren't starving.
Yeah, you had a roof over your head.
Your name ain't on no bills.
Right.
As a kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? You didn't have to go out and necessarily purchase all your own food and clothes and shelter. So you didn't get it out the dirt. But you have a section of people that really want that life, because they feel like that gives them more validity. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. If you had an opportunity, the opportunity you given your daughter, she should appreciate it and not look at it like, oh, I had to struggle. No, you don't have to struggle. That's the point. You did whatever struggling that your mom had to do, that her mom, and so on and so forth. And that's the reason why things should be getting better. We shouldn't be starting over. I don't believe in a bootstrap mentality because it sounds good to say. I think that, we teach to a certain degree, and then it's like, okay, you have to take what I taught you and go do something with it. And I think that that's, again, where we are a lot, even the older age is starting to act that way, feel entitled, whether they're working a job or this, that, and the third, or, it's like the sense of entitlement is at an all-time high.
Yeah.
And it's just really crazy. And it's like nobody wants to work for anything. They think they deserve it because they're a good person, a smart person, a pretty person, a tall person, whatever. And it's like, nah, you gotta put in the work, and that's, and it will always bear fruit. It may not bear, one thing about, speaking of bearing fruit, when you plant a fruit tree of any type, most fruit trees take 7 to 10 years to bear anything.
Yeah.
And the first fruit you get is funny looking, it's small, so on and so forth. But you got to be patient, because the one thing about it, now that tree will bear fruit for the next, it's apple trees out here 100 years old.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So.
Lighting now.
Got the light, huh?
Okay. Okay, Polaris. We've been having a lot of technical difficulties, but we're gonna.
You got your mic.
Where is it? Oh. Okay.
Make sure it's there.
But we gonna get through it.
Yep.
So you've started DJing or got into the DJing at 9 years old. You experienced death. You went to college, still stayed on course with the DJing. You just been through a lot of loops. How did you find joy in the journey through it all?
I think it's the process, falling in love with the process. I actually more enjoy the process than the result.
That's good.
I think because the process teaches you purpose. It gives you an insight of, like you said, walking in your purpose, finding your niche, finding, what you can do well. I always say you find your greatness through your weaknesses.
Yep, I agree.
Know what you're not good at. You're not good at everything.
Right.
We want to be super people, and I get it. But I recognize that I needed help, so I could call this person and, and reach out. I used to, I had to do it all. Nah, I don't have that attitude anymore. So that's the biggest part of it, is the process. That's what keeps me going, figuring it out every time. It's not always the same. Some of it is.
What don't work.
Right, yeah, because honestly, as times change and, being in music tastes change, we get older, we start listening to different things, and then we have a lot of what you would probably call youth or younger people coming in, and they're attached to the older stuff. So we're just, it's just almost like we're reinventing ourselves. So so that is the main thing. I think is just the process. That I fell in love with the process.
That's good.
Yeah, it's just like people who work out. You got to fall in love with the process, not the results of what you see in the mirror. Yeah. That's cool, and you're going to get there.
Right.
But if you don't love the process, after the process is done and you get this body or whatever you want, then if you didn't have any purpose, you won't do it anymore because you're already at, oh, I look good now. And then you a dozen cookies away from, because you didn't fall in love with the process. If you try to go back to that process, you're going to hate it because you didn't fall in love with it in the first place. You just say, you know what, I'm going to just be big and that's just going to be it, or I'm going to be sick or whatever the case. But if you're in love with the process, you're going to keep doing it because you're in love with the process, not the result. The result is what it is. That's going to be what it is, whether it's money, fame, recognition, whatever your purpose is. I mean, whatever your the result is, but the purpose, falling in love with the process is really the biggest part.
That's good. I love that.
Yeah.
So how can you encourage someone that is trying to figure out just doing what they love, but still, I guess, trying to balance out their personal life, doing what they love. Maybe they a husband or a father, right, and they want to be, they got this thing that they love doing, but they don't know how to be successful at it because they got all this other stuff going on too.
Yeah, I think a lot of times you have to sit in silence. There's a lot of noise out here. There's a lot of, we can all jump on our phones or, the internet as a whole, and there's tons of advice. Eat this, don't eat this. Next week is eat this, don't eat that. Wear this, don't wear that. Use this company, don't use this company. We boycotting this person, da-da-da-da-da. So the noise sometimes can confuse you because if you look at it every other week, opinions totally change. You got to develop your own opinion, but be back with facts, be back with knowledge, wisdom.
Yes, that's
good. And fortify yourself in that first before you go out here. I tell a lot of the guys I mix records for, and they always like, oh, do you like it? Do you like it? And I'm like, do you like it?
Right.
I'm not the expert. Just because I mix records, and I'm like, you are putting the record out, not me. I'm not putting the record out. You are. So if you're putting the record out, you had something you wanted to say, how you wanted to say it, so on and so forth. So I think you just have to cut the noise down. It doesn't mean you don't listen to people or take advice and all of that, but I think most of us, study your craft, whatever you're into. If you fix cars, take your time, study about cars, the history, so on and so forth. And I say that's the biggest part is you got to cut the noise and, find your set that the way that you want to go and just stick to it. It's going to be hard. It's never been easy. Most of the people we celebrate or say that we look up to, look at their stories. What do you say? Oh, they struggled. They got rejected 35 times before they got the 36. But then we don't want to go through that struggle at all. It's like everybody want to eat, but nobody want to do the dishes.
Right.
So, that's kind of where I am, is like, again, going back to the falling in love with the process. You gotta love that part first.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Where can the people find you?
Well, I'm mainly on Facebook, just under DJ Polaris, so I should be pretty easy to find. I'm trying to do more with my other social media, TikTok, and it's all DJ Polaris, so it's easy to find.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's all, you can always find me and then connect it through one or the other to get to the other ones, even Snapchat, and Twitter. I'm on all of that. Good. Always have been.
I got to get better with it because I'm just on Instagram.
Yeah, and I'm getting more active and things like that. So I'll be doing a lot of good stuff coming up this year with, like going live. So people that don't want to come out to, certain events or just not outgoing, you can still hear the music, still hear what I do. So, I'll pop up. I do a lot of pop-ups, and I'm going to try to schedule them a little more so you'll know days in advance. And, I'll do some in the morning when you're on your way to work. Yeah. So it'll kind of be like I'll be in my own radio station, Yeah. So you know how it is when you go into work. Sometimes you got your own list, but you got somebody that's going to DJ for you almost on your way to work, your 30-minute commute, 20-minute commute. And so, I'll start doing some of that. So you'll start seeing me pop up in the morning, like 7 in the morning, stuff like that. So
I love that. All right. Well, we are at the end of this episode. Thank you, DJ Polaris, for coming on the couch with me today. Yep. And make sure y'all go follow him. Go follow my platform. You want something else?
Absolutely. Yeah. You
got something else you want to say?
No.
Okay.
No.
Make sure you go follow my platforms. Tiara Whitney on Instagram, and I believe it's Tiara Whitney on Facebook as well. If you have any questions, comments, or whatever, email us at smilingtearsfortwayne@gmail.com. Until next time, we love y'all and continue to spread light and love and kindness.